Welcome to Brainish English Stories.
It had been many months since my mother passed away, but the pain still lived in my heart. I had no one, no family, no love, no peace. But one thing never left my mind: Lucy. I didn't know where she had gone after the wedding. She left quietly. She didn't leave a note. She didn't even say goodbye. I knew I had to find her. I couldn't live with all the questions. I had to know if she was really my sister. And I had to tell her what my mother had written in the letter. So, I started searching. I asked old neighbors. I called people my mother knew. I even went to the wedding hall, hoping someone would remember something. After a few weeks, I found one man who said her husband took her to another city. Somewhere far. I think it was Bellington. It was not a strong clue, but it was something. I packed a small bag and went to Bellington. I stayed in a cheap hotel. Every day, I walked the streets, asking around. I showed people her photo. Many said no. Some said maybe. A few thought they saw her near the market. I waited near the market for days. Watching. Hoping. Then, one day, I saw her. She was wearing a simple blue dress. Her hair was tied back. She looked tired and sad. My heart jumped when I saw her. But I didn't call out. I froze. I stood there like a statue, hiding behind a pole. I didn't know what to do. Should I go to her? What if she didn't want to see me? What if she still believed we were brother and sister? So, I did something strange. I followed her. I watched her walk to a small grocery shop, then to a bakery. Then she walked back towards a quiet street. I didn't follow her there. I returned to the market every day for the next few days, waiting for another chance. I don't know why I didn't speak to her right away. Maybe I was scared. Finally, after a week, I saw her again. She was standing alone near a fruit stall. I took a deep breath and walked toward her. "Lucy," I said softly. She turned, shocked. Her eyes widened. "Peter," she whispered. We both stood still, looking into each other's eyes. So many emotions passed between us: surprise, pain, love, and something else. Something unspoken. I need to talk to you," I said. She nodded slowly. We went to a small cafe nearby and sat at a corner table. There was silence at first. Then I took out the letter. "This was written by my mother," I said. "After she died. I found this in her room." Lucy looked at the envelope. She touched it gently. Then I read it to her. I read every word about my adoption, about Lucy being my real sister, and about my mother's guilt. When I finished, Lucy looked away. Her eyes were full of tears. I didn't know any of this," she whispered. "I didn't either," I said. "But I had to tell you." I had to find you and tell you the truth." She wiped her eyes and looked at me. "There's something I need to tell you too, Peter." "What is it?" I'm not married anymore," she said slowly. "My husband, he was cruel. He shouted at me, insulted me, even hit me once. I couldn't live with him. I left him after 3 months. I didn't know where else to go, so I came here and started a new life. I felt pain in my chest. "I'm so sorry, Lucy," I said. "I should have been there for you." "No. It's not your fault," she said. "Everything happened so fast. I was scared. And when your mother got so sick, I thought it was best to leave." There was silence again. Then I asked her, "Do you still think about me?" She looked into my eyes and said softly, "Yes. Every day." We both knew we still had feelings for each other. But now, those feelings were buried under fear, doubt, and guilt. "We need to know the truth," I said. "If we are really brother and sister, we must stay away. But if we are not, maybe we still have a chance." Lucy nodded. "But how will we know?" "We can go to your old house," I said. "Maybe we'll find something there, photos, papers, anything." A few days later, we traveled to Lucy's old town. It was a long journey. We didn't speak much. Both of us were deep in thought. When we reached Lucy's old house, it was locked. The windows were dusty. Weeds had taken over the garden. But the lock was old. I picked up a stone and broke it. Inside, the air smelled of dust and memories. The furniture stood where it always had. Old photos still hung on the walls. Lucy looked around slowly. "So much has changed," she said. We started searching for answers. We looked in drawers, cupboards, boxes, but nothing told us the full truth. Then Lucy stopped and said, "There's someone we should talk to." "Who?" I asked. "My mother's close friend. Her name is Mrs. June. She knew everything about our family. Maybe she can help us." We found Mrs. June living in a small, quiet house nearby. She was a kind-looking old woman with silver hair and soft eyes. When she opened the door and saw Lucy, her eyes filled with tears. "Oh my God! Lucy," she said, holding her hand over her mouth. "Yes, it's me," Lucy said softly. Mrs. June took us inside. She made tea and sat down with us. We told her everything about the letter, the confusion, and the search for truth. She listened quietly. Then she sighed deeply. "I've waited many years for this," she said. "I always thought one day the truth would come out." We looked at her in silence. She took Lucy's hand and said, "Peter's mother was telling the truth in her letter. Peter, your real parents were Lucy's parents." My heart skipped a beat. Mrs. June continued, "The adoption was real. But it wasn't supposed to happen. Lucy's mother never wanted to give you away. She loved you deeply. But her husband, he was a greedy man. A gambler. One day, he was offered a lot of money for you. He forced his wife to give you up. He even beat her when she tried to say no. Lucy covered her mouth in shock. After losing you, Mrs. June went on, her heart broke. She cried every night. Then one day, her husband came home drunk, carrying a baby girl. That baby was you, Lucy. He told his wife he adopted you from someone. But, she believed him? Lucy asked, her voice shaking. She didn't know the full truth, Mrs. June said. But she was so broken and lonely, and she wanted a child so badly, she accepted you without asking questions. She raised you as her own. Tears ran down Lucy's cheeks. Everyone, family, friends, neighbors, we all believed you were their real daughter. Only your mother and I knew the truth. And the letter? I asked. Mrs. June nodded. Yes. When your parents became very sick, Lucy's mother reached out to your adoptive mother. She lied. She said you and Lucy were siblings. She did that because she was scared. She knew they might both die soon, and she wanted someone to take care of Lucy. She thought, if you believed Lucy was your sister, you would never leave her. Lucy sat in silence. Her hands were shaking. And so, I said slowly, I was the real son, given away for money. And Lucy was adopted, brought home by a drunk, broken man. Yes, Mrs. June whispered. The room was silent for a long time. I looked at Lucy. She looked at me. Our faces were full of pain, but also relief. Now, we finally knew the truth. On the way back home, we barely spoke. We were both thinking about what our parents had done, how their mistakes had changed our lives. I can't believe it, Lucy said quietly. Everything I thought I knew was a lie. Same here, I said. I was angry, but now I just feel sad. They were broken people. They made terrible choices. But maybe they did love us, in their own way. Lucy nodded. Yes. Maybe. We walked in silence for a while. Then she looked at me and said, but now we know. We're not siblings. We never were. No, I said. We never were. She took a deep breath. And I still have feelings for you, Peter. I stopped walking. I turned to her. I never stopped loving you, Lucy. Even when I thought you were my sister, I tried to bury those feelings. But they never left. She smiled sadly. So what do we do now? I looked at the sky, then back at her. We forget the lies. We forgive the past. And we live our life, together. She took my hand. It felt warm and right. We stood there, looking at each other, holding hands in the quiet street. So much had happened. So many lies. So many broken pieces. But now, we had the truth. And we had each other. Lucy stepped closer. Her eyes were full of tears, but they weren't sad tears. They were tears of peace. Of healing. We kissed each other. It was soft. honest, full of all the love we had held back for so long. Within a month, we planned our wedding. Not a grand one. A simple one. Just a few people, a quiet place, and hearts that were finally free. I am happy with what I have now. Not because life was perfect. It never was. But because we found each other, even in the middle of the storm. And that was enough.